is day 7 of 365 days of Jung. The topic is one-sidedness. More specifically, superiority. So, I feel superior to all kinds of people. I feel superior to the person who tailgates me because I think it's rude and they're stupid and I would never do something like that. I feel superior to the person who broke into my neighbor's house and burglarized it. They stole things. They're rude. They're selfish. They're narcissistic. I feel superior to the person who stands in line in front of me talking to the barista for 20 minutes about their problems. Like, who cares? I need my coffee. Okay? So this notion that I am superior to others really is a pretty general one-sidedness. I might feel superior, I might feel inferior, but let's talk about the superior first. So I feel superior, and there's something good about the feeling of superiority. There is something that's powerful about that. I'm right, you're wrong, I'm superior, you're inferior. Brad Bushman, one of the leading researchers on aggression and narcissism, has talked a lot about how if you feel superior, it gives you license to treat the other person poorly because they're inferior after all. They're not real human beings, or they're lower, they're miscreants. So there is something good about it, but there's a lot bad about it also. So if I still feel superior, I also feel entitled. And so I feel entitled to be treated a certain way. And if respectfully, maybe put, in first place all the time. Maybe I need for people to pay attention to me if I'm talking, and always treat me as if I am special, wonderful, right? When they don't, it hurts my feelings. I feel devalued. So there's a sense in which the more superior I feel, the more entitled I feel to a certain level of treatment. And when I don't get that treatment, it actually upsets my peace, my contentment, my happiness. So this superiority actually works against me, and in a sense is giving away my peacefulness, my happiness. It's disempowering in the sense that I'm now putting my well-being in the hands of others because I feel entitled to a type of treatment. And if I don't get that sort of treatment, I'm upset, and it's your fault. You can hear how stupid that is, but that's a dynamic that goes on, I think, in most of us. If we drill down, we start to realize, I feel superior. I must feel superior in order to feel like I should demand a certain type of treatment. Okay, so from a Jungian perspective, we're always trying to move from the literal to the symbolic. So it's not to say, excuse me, that one person is literally superior to another person. We have to be careful with usefulness. Usefulness is a different issue. Some people are more useful than others. Dependent, but who's going to be defining useful? But leaving that aside, if I feel superior, what exactly? So let me go back. We want to move from the literal to the symbolic. So I am at a traffic stop, and a car behind me is just a few inches from my bumper, and I'm thinking, what a rude son of a bitch. I really am superior to that person. I would never treat someone that way. I am better than them. Okay, so with that in mind, I'm upset, and I'm about to become, road rage, right? So that's literal. Now, on the symbolic level, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at what is the characteristic? Is it rudeness? Is it selfishness? Is it Well, we'll call it selfishness. Either one. So let's say it's selfishness. Now, in terms of my identity, if I can identify, excuse me, too many cigars. If I can identify that I am a very unselfish person and I'm a very selfish person. So it's no longer the person sitting in the car behind me that's the problem. The problem is my relationship to selfishness. Can I accept selfishness? Okay? So we move from the literal, the person behind me who's being selfish. I can't really change that. But, and it's upsetting my own mental well-being. So, but symbolically, it's about selfishness. So now, here we have selfishness, and we have unselfishness. I consider myself unselfish. Well, can I recognize the fact that I'm also very selfish? Now, this is not to get me or get you. It's to say, okay, well, let's bring selfishness into my identity, into my boat. And let's make friends with selfishness. Can I accept that? And so I'm going to look for examples in my life where I am selfish. I don't have to look very far to realize, wow, I am selfish on so many levels. Again, not to bring in guilt or shame, but to say, okay, yeah, I also am selfish. And I want to accept that unconditionally. I want to accept it, embrace it. I am unselfish. I am unselfish. I am unselfish and I am selfish. It's kind of Freudian slip, I suppose. Maybe we can call it a Jungian slip. So I want to embrace, excuse me, I want to embrace selfishness. And I'm going to make friends with selfishness, okay? So I might say something to myself. How do I do that? Well, it's a big topic, right? One way I do that is I just go, I'm not better than other people, and I don't have to be. Now, I call that a balancing statement. I developed them based on reading Jungian psychology and all the different authors. And what I'm really doing is I'm saying, I'm not better, I'm not superior, and it's okay. I don't have to be superior. So I will repeat that sentence to myself many times. I'm not better than so-and-so, who I consider selfish or rude, okay? And I don't have to be, so I can do that. Or I can say, yeah, I'm selfish and it's okay. And I can embrace selfishness. I might think of selfishness as, there's lots of kind of tricks for trying to accept it. But essentially I want to say, I am selfish and it's okay. I don't want to make myself feel guilty. Now, the more I can embrace selfishness and admit I am also selfish, I'm unselfish and selfish, and it's okay. Now, when you go back into the literal world, the notion is this, that if I have integrated selfish and unselfish, if I have worked to bring those two together in my identity, in my psyche, then when I'm in a situation like somebody is tailgating me, I will use wisdom. The wisdom comes out of the integration. So I'm not going to be reactive. I'm not going to have to demand some change in that person's behavior because it insults me, makes me feel bad. I will now be at peace, more or less, and I will react out of wisdom. What's the best thing to do in this situation? Not, how dare that person do that to me, okay? So I think we'll leave it at that. I'm sure we'll come back to that topic many times. Just in brief, so just in summary, one-sidedness may feel good, but it actually is disempowering. 2, if I feel superior, if I'm insulted, upset by something someone's doing, there's a good chance I feel superior to that person. 3, I want to move from the literal to the symbolic. I want to go, okay, what is the quality that is so disturbing? For example, selfishness. So I want to say, I am selfish and it's okay. Or I can think of people who I consider really selfish, and I can say, I'm not better than so-and-so, and that's okay. Both of those seem to work for me pretty well. Now I'm still, very arrogant, have a long ways to go. And you can see, arrogance has nothing to do with reality. It's just an attitude. All right, enough for day 7.